Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Tuesday! Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Tuesday, guys. Want to share this download with you guys. This is not for everyone, of course. No recording is, but a clear download. You're thinking too small. You are thinking too small, chosen ones. Now, again, this is not for everyone because some of you guys are just as crazy as I am, meaning you think big, right? There is no limit. It's limitless. Like, you think big. You don't care what your bank says. You don't care what this says, that says. You can see past all of that, right? So, chosen one, God have given you some kind of vision, right? Long ago, maybe, years, decades, whatever. He's given you some kind of vision. And throughout this time of processing, everything that you've been through have built and equipped you for this very moment. Here's the problem in many cases. Once you shift to due season, you've been beaten up so bad by life, by spiritual attacks, things like that. You've been beaten up so bad. You've been disappointed a number of times because maybe things didn't happen the way you thought or when you thought it should have happened. Just our own thinking. But the point of the matter is you've been beaten up so bad that you're almost hesitating to take the very step that God is asking you to take. Or even if you're moving and you're not hesitating to take the step, you're doing it in small increments. But it's more so less, it's not even out of wisdom, meaning you're trying to do things where it's sustainable, things like that. This is more so less about fear, out of fear, the spirit of fear. Almost like, well, no, it's too much of a risk. And I know it didn't work last time. I don't know if I'm going to have the people to really back it. People aren't even supporting me now. They're not going to support me now. I don't want to chance it. Right. Okay. I mean, that's fine, truly. Right. When we're thinking things in regards to our own goals, dream, and desires, our stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm speaking about God ordained promises. Purpose is bigger than you. Purpose is bigger than me, right? If it only involves you, then that's not purpose. That's just purpose is grand. Purpose will scare you. It's huge. It's big. You got to remove the cap. Remove the ceiling, remove the cap that you placed around your mind, because anything that God calls you to, there's going to be people to back it. There's going to be resources. Favor will find you. It's more or less about just taking the step and being fearless, because you know that you know that you know what God said. Now, we're not talking about being foolish, right? We're talking that you know. Like, it's been confirmed 1,001 times. Like, you know what God said, and you know that the time is now. But here comes the enemy, putting all that doubt, putting all that fear, reminding you of when it didn't work last time. Here goes your own flesh thinking, well, I'm not really a big deal, so I got to start it small. Don't worry, just do it. Just take the step. Don't even worry about it starting small, or I got to start with one person. Just take the step, whatever the step that God is convicting you and instructing you to take. Maybe he just said, get on the plane and fly over there. Just get to the land. You don't know nothing, but you know that I said, get there. Start the YouTube channel. I know you're fearful. I know you're a little timid. I know you're more shy. Start the YouTube. Listen, God is very strategic. I told you guys, most of you, definitely not all, but the majority of you guys don't know me personally, right? I know I speak with a lot of confidence and very, very powerful, if you will, through YouTube. But I'm way more reserved. I'm way more shy. I don't know if I want to use the word shy, if you will, because I mean, listen, I get in where I fit in, right? I get in where I fit in. I'm not shy, but I am more reserved and way more introverted than what the energy I give off. I'm moving in purpose and calling, so I speak with authority, right? But overall, I'm really more of a reserved person. So this is why I use the recording app probably 95% of the times. So the point that I'm making here is God is very strategic. So the enemy will try to handicap you about something that you may be afraid of, but God will give you a strategic way. So God doesn't care about how you speak. God doesn't care about how you're so shy. He cares about you getting whatever the message is that he needs you to reach people. He cares about that. So he's going to give you a strategic way around it. But you got to get started. You got to take the step. The fear will never leave you. You got to step into it bold, knowing that God have your back, knowing that anything God calls you to, he is required to provide. Even if you take the wrong step, he will reel you back in, get you on the right path. You're going to make mistakes. You can't get around that. You're going to make mistakes. I've made so many mistakes. That's part of learning, because now you know, right? It's not failure, it's mistakes. But in this season, he's calling the chosen ones to think big. Screw being a millionaire. Claim being a multi-billionaire. Period. All that, I'll be the first millionaire in my family. No, I'll be the first multi-billionaire in my family. You got to speak it. You got to speak it. You got to see it. You got to believe it. You got to know what you carry. But the mindset have to be adjusted to that thinking. Come out of that comfortable environment, come out of that hood. No disrespect to the hood. I love the hood, but nobody got time for the hood anymore. Adjust the mindset. Seriously. Came from it, I don't have to remain there. And you're not going to make me feel like I have to remain there. If you want to come on. But you're not about to handicap my thinking and keep my thinking limited with this limited mindset. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you choose. I don't choose that. I want everything, people, places, and things. I want everything that God has ordained for me. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. You got to be confident. You got to be bold. You got to speak what you see. You got to be fearless. You got to be gruff, because the enemy is just not going to give it up. He's going to play with your mind. Even the most not disciplined, well, that too, but even the most determined, the enemy is going to try to shake you. So it's not about that. It's about, even if you get shaken for a second, you got to get back up. You got to see it. You got to believe it. And you know another thing too. God knows that we can't handle certain things at certain times, or if he shows us certain things all at once, so we're going to get freaked out because there's going to be so much attack that comes with it. There's going to be a lot of things that we're just going to be like, I ain't nobody got time for this. I'm going back to my more simple life, right? So it's almost like he shows you things in bits and pieces. Okay, let me give an example. So I don't know, he placed a seed in your heart 10 years ago. This is just an example. But the seed only gave you some kind of revelation about you are called to mentor young boys, let's just say. There's just a desire. And so now he changed your desire to his, if that desire was never in there. Now all of a sudden, I don't know, you might be in construction, but now there's a desire that you want to really mentor young boys because your father wasn't there, right? So you put the work in, and you know that you were able to be saved, right? You didn't turn to the streets. You didn't do this, that, and the third, even though your father was not there, even though statistics said you would turn out a certain kind of way. So now there's a desire that you want to save some young boys. So now in one season, let's just say it's a couple of years, whatever. One season, you have this idea like, I'm going to build and add on a smaller piece to the back of my house, and I'm going to adopt 2 boys. Okay. Well, that's the level at the time that you're able to think on, that you're able to receive, because you haven't evolved higher yet. So in your mind, the goal now is, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm going to put some extra hours in. I mean, I'm in construction anyway, so I can just go ahead and add these. And then I'll maybe look into the adoption process or the mentorship process, right? So in your mind at that time, you're only seeing 2 boys. The desire is limited at 2. But now some time go on, now you evolve, you go higher, right? You're more spiritually inclined, you're more tuned into purpose and calling, you're more disciplined, you're more this, you're more that. And now you're at a new level, and now there's a desire for, like, I don't know, more. Like, well, God told me 2, but now I'm feeling more like 10. So maybe rather than do the addition to the house and get 2, maybe I look for like a small building, like a little small building. Maybe I can like mentor them like with after school programs, things like that. Okay, now that's the level that you can receive. So it's not no longer 2, it's 10 because you've climbed. Now you go through some things. You grow some more. You evolve some more. Now you're at another level. Now it's like, I think I can do a school. But if God has shown you the school at the first level, when really your mind could have only received 2, there's no way he could have shown you a school. It would have overwhelmed you so bad. You would have just given up on the whole dream, the whole desire, because that's unachievable. So you would have been thinking that I can't achieve. How am I going? I'm in construction. I can barely pay my rent. How in the world am I going to sit here and get a whole school? Make it make sense. So what he does is he grows us up piece by piece, level by level. And then we achieve more because we can receive more. And now you're looking back like, why was I even thinking 2? Why was I thinking that small? It's because we can only receive at the level that we've put the work on to climb. Where now many chosen people are at this level, this new shift, or it's not even about a building. Now he's putting a desire for you to build a whole city. And the boys' school will be within the city, but it's still more. And now you're building, now you are attracting at that level. So now you got destiny helpers coming to invest in your school, invest in your city, volunteering for the boys' school. So you're attracting it. So you see the point. We ourselves cannot attain these things and definitely cannot sustain them. We just have to see the vision, move in alignment, go through everything we got to go through to go from level to level, glory to glory, so we can evolve. And then we don't chase, we attract. You attract everything that God has for you. But again, we can only attract at that level, the level that we are currently on. I wanted to share that.